Found living symbiotically inside of the cells of all living things, Midi-Chlorians were intelligent, microscopic life forms that could assist their host in detecting the energy field known as the Force. Midi-Chlorians were a necessary component to all living entities, as without them, life could not exist. While they themselves didn't create an upper limit on the Force abilities of those who were Force sensitive, as Jedi with lower counts could still achieve a connection to the Force to the same degree as Jedi with higher counts, Midi-Chlorians were significantly linked with an individual's potential to use the Force. However, as discovered and created by a Dark Lord of the Sith, Midi-Chlorians could be changed into Maxi-Chlorians, which, as we'll see, consisted of one crucial difference that separated them from the unaltered Midi-Chlorians. In this video expose, I will explain what Maxi-Chlorians are and how they are different than Midi-Chlorians. In every respect but one, Maxi-Chlorians were the same as Midi-Chlorians. In fact, Maxi-Chlorians were merely altered Midi-Chlorians. So what was this one important difference that separated Maxi-Chlorians from Midi-Chlorians? Upon the death of all living entities, Midi-Chlorians would migrate back into the Force. However, this wasn't true for Maxi-Chlorians. Rather than finding their way back into the Force, Maxi-Chlorians were intended to be long-lived Midi-Chlorians, wherein they remained after the death of the living entity. Maxi-Chlorians were created by the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Tenebrous, who was the master of Darth Sidious's master, Darth Plagueis. Tenebrous was able to alter his Midi-Chlorians into these long-existing Maxi-Chlorians through a retrovirus of his own design, in which he injected himself with during his lifetime. The reason why Tenebrous set himself to the creation of Maxi-Chlorians was to attempt to achieve immortality by preserving his consciousness within them and then go on to possess others, including his own Sith apprentice Plagueis, thereby ensuring that his consciousness survived in perpetuity. But Tenebrous's goal went even further than merely possessing a continuous line of Sith as the Rule of Two progressed. Tenebrous's ultimate goal was to allow his consciousness to survive long enough so that one day he could possess the so-called Chosen One. Tenebrous learned about the Chosen One through a prophetic book called The Journey of the Wills, wherein 4 of the 11 prophecies within the work prophesies the coming of a so-called Chosen One who was born of pure Force. Having learned of the Chosen One, and after calculating how powerful they would be through their birth directly from the Force, Tenebrous worked diligently to develop a way in which his consciousness would survive until the Chosen One emerged. Although Tenebrous could have used the power of essence transfer, which he had discovered for himself, he was persuaded by the work of his apprentice Plagueis in the field of Midi-Chlorians, and pursued the use of his Maxi-Chlorians to achieve his desired ends in regard to possessing the Chosen One. Tenebrous would one day have the opportunity to test his creation of the Maxi-Chlorians. Upon his death at the hands of his apprentice Plagueis, as per the tenets of the Rule of Two, Tenebrous was able to successfully preserve his consciousness within his Maxi-Chlorians. Rather than migrating back into the Force, these Maxi-Chlorians then migrated out of Tenebrous's body and into the nearby body of Plagueis, wherein the Maxi-Chlorians began to immediately infect Plagueis' cells. Having successfully possessed his apprentice with his consciousness intact through the Maxi-Chlorians, one of the first acts of Tenebrous was to access Plagueis' powerful ability of foresight. This isn't surprising, as one of the abilities that Tenebrous had to sacrifice when injecting himself with the retrovirus and turning a large percentage of his Midi-Chlorians into Maxi-Chlorians was his capacity for foresight. In fact, if Tenebrous had not limited the amount of the retrovirus that he injected himself with, he would have lost his ability to use the Force entirely. Having accessed Plagueis' foresight, what Tenebrous saw horrified him. Rather than Plagueis providing him with the opportunity to possess the Chosen One, either through subsequent Sith apprentices, or through Plagueis' own work to achieve immortality through his research into Midi-Chlorians, Tenebrous saw Plagueis die at the hands of his own apprentice, one who appeared merely as a shadow of the dark side. Recognizing that Plagueis would merely be a dead end for his consciousness, with no opportunity to fulfill his true goal of possessing the Chosen One, Tenebrous became panicked and immediately removed his consciousness from his apprentice's body. However, upon exiting Plagueis' body, in an attempt to develop a promising solution and a meaningful way out, Tenebrous discovered that his remains had become mummified, indicating that a significant amount of time had passed without the Dark Lord of the Sith being aware of it. Therefore, although the concept of the Maxi-Chlorians worked to perfection in allowing Tenebrous to retain his consciousness after death and possessing his apprentice, he wasn't able to fulfill his goal of possessing the Chosen One, and ultimately became trapped as a disembodied essence. So there we have it, what Maxi-Chlorians are, and how they're different from Midi-Chlorians. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for taking the time to do it right.